Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Elevate Your Path, Marketing Professionals of NIRSA. Today we are featuring Robert Huizenga. Rob works for Centers LLC at Moraine Valley Community College as the Assistant Director of Marketing and Membership Services. So thanks so much for being here, Rob. And can you tell us who you are, where you work, and what your role is?
Sure. Thank you for that nice introduction. As Rochelle mentioned, I'm the Assistant Director of Marketing and Membership Services at Moraine Valley Community College, which is under Centers. I've been there. It's located in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I've been here for just about 3 years. Been a great fit. Just love the team atmosphere. Love working for Centers. What a great company. Shares a lot of the values that both we have here at Moraine, but that I personally have: teamwork, innovative, thought process. Making sure that they stay kind of cutting edge. Commitment to excellence and student development and all those important things that you need for campus rec professionals.
Perfect. Thank you so much. What other fields have you worked in before campus recreation?
Great question. I actually relatively, even though it's my third year, I feel still relatively new to this field of campus rec. I worked 15 years in collegiate athletics. I worked mainly in sports information, which is kind of a blended role of publicity and or marketing. Did a lot of website updating, social media work, promotional work for college athletic department. Worked my way up to associate athletic director for about a 5-year span. I was at a small NAIA school called St. Xavier University on the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and loved it, but was looking for a little better work-life balance. As much as I enjoyed the job, there were a lot of nights and weekends commitments and very non-traditional work hours. And with me having 3 young children at home, or young children at the time, I just needed something that I could structure my workday a little bit better and make a lot of their events and be part of their life a little more, because I felt like I was missing a lot of things that they were doing because of my previous schedule. So this has been a great fit here at Moraine Valley working for Centers. And, it's just been great to, like I said, work with this team and get involved as much as I can with campus recreation.
Perfect. And so you covered this a little bit in your last response, but why? I know you said that the scheduling was really important, that was a big draw for you to choose to work in campus recreation, but what other factors kind of swayed you towards working within marketing within campus recreation?
Well, it was definitely the marketing. I felt like I had kind of a background in that from my work in athletics. I didn't have a lot of previous experience with the membership side of things, so that was a learning curve for me. Fortunately for me, Centers as a campus rec firm has had great resources there. They manage 10 sites around the country, so I had a lot of campus rec professionals that I could draw information and resources from and kind of get the ball rolling, so that I didn't feel like I was kind of flying blind. Which was a nice feeling. Another perk for me was my predecessor here at Moraine was Julie Ray, who now works for the central office at Centers. So was able to still able to pick her brain and utilize her as a resource to kind of help me along. She knows this campus here at Moraine, but now being a resource at the central office, she's readily available to help out, not just at our site but at all the other center sites.
Nice. That sounds wonderful. So during your time at Moraine State or Moraine Valley, sorry, I just talked with somebody from Texas State. What type of marketing have you produced that has been successful in creating and increasing engagement on your campus?
One thing that we've done a lot of, and you kind of got to go old school. I think we're a commuter campus here, so a lot of the students don't stay put. We don't have that thriving campus life that some of these 4-year bigger institutions have. We get a lot of students that just come here, take their classes, and then leave campus. So it's been a challenge to try to get them to stick around. Utilize the facilities that's available to them here. We kind of coined it and branded as Fit Rec, short for fitness recreation, as a lot of places do. But it's just been challenge to get them to realize that this is part of your full-time student package. This is something that's you don't have to go find another gym to work at. You can make this a part of your daily routine. Don't just show up to classes and then head off the campus and go to your part-time job or whatever else you're working on. Stick around and utilize this facility. So a lot of the things we've done have been kind of working closely with like the Office of Student Life and trying to find events on campus where we can actually one-on-one talk to these students and really engage with them and show them all that we have to offer. Because as you probably know, students sometimes have short-term memories. They have have a lot of things going on in their lives. They're going in a lot of different directions, and especially when they work at or attend a commuter campus like Moraine. They just have a lot of things going on in their personal lives. So you really have to kind of almost corner them and say, this is available to you. And there's a lot of good resources, and this is something that you definitely should be taking advantage of.
Well, and it's also really interesting because I think it's a growing trend within community colleges to be building rec centers or have recreation spaces. And it's also having like a student life division. Like, it's really cool that it sounds like your university or your university has had quite a deep tradition of fitness and wellness for staff, or not for staff, but also for all of your students. And I think that definitely changes the mindset of folks who are going to a community college and really like increases their experience, because they're not just there to take classes, they're there to have a bigger experience that can include, fitness and wellness and all of the other things that you would find on a traditional four-year university campus.
Yeah, and I know you've heard it a million times from students, but you're at a tabling event or a welcome back event to start the semester, and I didn't even realize that was an option, or I didn't even realize this resource was available. And it's not just exclusive to like our fitness center. It's counseling services or different clubs and organizations that they didn't even realize. And so a lot of times, we can do a lot of marketing strategies, sending, email newsletters and email blasts and doing things on social media. But a lot of times, I think this generation is so ingrained to see so many things from those means that sometimes you have to go back to the old school and just one-on-one interactions, or go where they are and really make that effort to, one-on-one communication.
Yeah, because especially when you are maybe a little, not like screen numb, but like when you see, I don't know how to say that, but like,
sure, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like if you're so used to just being like, mindlessly was a death scroll, scrolling through social media, having somebody approach you in person can be jarring, and is definitely a really good way to just be like, we are here, did you know that?
Yep.
So yeah, and I think it's definitely time to kind of cycle back into a lot of that more like face-to-face interaction.
I agree, yeah, and I feel like especially with what we've dealt with the last year and a half, people have kind of a little bit reverted back into their shells, and so to speak. So it is good. I think they welcome that engagement, and they're looking for that engagement to talk to people again and not do a video chat or a video meeting. They want to do one-on-one interaction. So I think a lot of those old school marketing strategies are going to come back and be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads nicely into, if you could talk to us a little bit more about how you're engaging with or marketing to your campus community. I know you just mentioned like kind of the older school tactics, like, tabling and face-to-face type of stuff. But if you could talk to us a little bit more about that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, we're actually in the process of working on a big event for our welcoming our students back for the fall. It's called Rec Fest. It's going to be in our gymnasium. We got quite a few community vendors already planning to make an appearance there. And we actually have the Army. They're going to be doing some drills and different things on one of the stations on one of our courts there. But yeah, we're going to also have some campus organizations there. We'll have a lot of our pro staff there doing, kind of introducing the students to like intramural events that we'll have coming up this semester. And some of the other options, we have some special events. We have an event called the Big Swim that we do at least usually about twice a year. Where we, it's like a personal challenge where you try to log as many laps as you can over a 1 month span, and they compete, and we post the results weekly, and it's just a lot of fun, and people take it and get really competitive with it. So those are kind of fun events that students can get involved with. in addition to like intramurals and stuff. But yeah, we've had a lot of things going on. Obviously, social media is a great way to engage with them. Our Instagram is really popular with a lot of our student base. But we're planning on doing a lot of tabling and just being visible as much as possible in as many things as where students are. We're hoping to host in October a big pink volleyball event in our gym, which we're really excited about to help raise awareness and money for breast cancer research. We're working closely with our Office of Student Life to make that happen at our facility. So that's really exciting. But yeah, there's just a lot of different things going on, obviously, with the start of the semester. And I think students are anxiously waiting to come back and be a part of campus life again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love doing these interviews because I love hearing all of the ideas of what everyone's doing. And I think the big swim sounds really fun. And
yeah,
as
it is.
I'm gonna bring that back.
Yeah, it's a relatively low maintenance event, and we've obviously promoted. But once the actual event starts, it's kind of they do their they report their laps that they record daily to the lifeguard, and then they just keep a running total, and we just post them on our website and around the facility throughout each week through the course of a whole month, so that people can kind of see where. And it's amazing some of the totals that some of these participants put up. It's really impressive.
Yeah, swimmers go hard.
Yes, they do.
So have you ever worked with a limited budget or resources? And if so, how have you been able to overcome it?
I think that's a great question, especially considering what all of our institutions have been dealing with over the last 14, 15 months. I think we're all kind of working with limited resources and limited budgets due to the pandemic, and we're definitely in that category. Obviously with membership taking a dip, and with our facility being closed a short amount of time, I think we were closed a total of 3 months in 2020 due to the pandemic. We had to adjust a lot of our strategies and our budget, and different things like that to make do. So when we did reopen in July of 2020, part of that was how can you cut costs? How can you still try to do what you do, but in a more cost-effective way? And you had to be creative, and that's what it kind of basically comes down to. And we did a lot of team meetings to discuss different options, but it kind of was refreshing because it did force you to kind of find different ways, and some of those will stick, and things will take into, it's like, well, if it was effective and it didn't cost a lot, let's stick with it and see how long it works, even if the budget does return to its normal state. But there are a lot of ways that you can cut costs and be more efficient from a marketing side. I mean, there's a lot of things you can sign up for, such as like a constant contact for email newsletters and blast emails and stuff, and those do offer an additional fee, but there's a lot of means in things you already maybe utilize, like software programs, and that use a lot of those same features, and so you can save a lot of money that way. Like for instance, we have a Halloween 5K coming up that we do annually right around Halloween each year, and it's a fun event. We encourage our participants to wear costumes, and it's just it's usually, we've had, knock on wood, good weather the last few years, and it's just a nice outdoor event. It gets a lot of interest. But we had to figure out a way to market that last year, creatively, because we didn't have much of a budget for that. And so we, used to put out print advertising for it in some of the local family magazines and different things in the area. But that was an extra cost. And so one strategy that we utilized was to go around to different running clubs and do research on different running clubs in the area and see if they had an option where they promoted things on maybe their website or around wherever they congregate, or if there was a point person that kind of led the running club, if we could get some advertising from them. And that seemed to, it's a very cheap way to get a lot of local runners involved in. And fortunately for us, there were a lot of 5Ks in the area, or there weren't a lot of 5Ks in the area due to the pandemic. So just us taking that initiative and reaching out to those, running clubs helped us, get a lot of extra interest that we might not have gotten, under normal conditions.
No, that's really great. And that's not only like, a lot of times I think people focus on the like interdepartmental collaboration, like especially or like intercampus.
Yep.
And I think it's definitely really important, as you know, a lot of times universities or colleges are siloed away from the actual community. And so if you're able to figure out how to build bridges and establish more areas for that collaboration or even marketing, I think that definitely helps both parties, because then they're able to come on campus and maybe have a better view or utilize some of the resources or see what's available to the community. And then y'all are able to, advertise your stuff and bring in a little bit of revenue, but also offering a fun event for everybody.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. So you were in athletics and now you're in campus recreation.
Mm-hmm.
So what does a typical day look like for you? And because it looks like you're in the office, and also it's wild that y'all were only closed for 3 months. We were closed for 14 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be quite the challenge. So.
Yeah. So now that you're back in the office, what does your typical day look like for you?
It's I don't know if you could coin it as typical ever. I mean, even when I was in college athletics, there was no such thing as a typical day. For me, the challenge daily is the balance between devoting my time to marketing, things that need to get done, as well as membership, items that need to get done. And, that's it's not ideal at times, because a lot of things are on the same timeline. Obviously the start of a new school year, things get a little busier, and you get pulled in a lot of different directions. But I have a great team here. I actually have a member services and guest, or actually a guest coordinator and membership services assistant, Alejandro Herrera. He works with me very closely to kind of tackle some of the membership things, so that I can focus sometimes more on marketing when that busy time of year comes around. I also have a membership assistant, full-time, Pam Lawrence, that works here as well, and she's great. She actually works the membership desk a couple times a week, which is also another great resource. And kind of I can, since I know she's there, I don't have to worry about disturbing or interrupting with phone calls, because I know she'll handle it, and I can kind of utilize that time to focus more on the marketing requests and different things like that. So, a lot of it is just trying to find that balance. I do try to stay organized and try to plan a day, but oftentimes a wrench gets thrown in that after the first hour, when you get a phone call or you get an email and something needs to be handled right away. So it doesn't always work out the way I'd like it to, but it's just finding that balance and trying to. I try to personally just handle as many requests as I can on a daily basis and try to tackle as many things as I can. And so far, so good. 3 years in, and it seems to be working pretty effectively. So.
Oh, and I'm just going to give Alejandro a shout out, because he's also on the Rec Chat committee.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, he's great. He's very involved. He's been a great resource for me, just because he's been involved with campus recreation for so many years. So, even though I am his direct supervisor, I tend to, being relatively new to the field, I don't know if 3 years is still relatively new, but, do ask him a lot and he has a great networking too, because he's met so many professionals across the country and stuff. So he's been a huge resource for me these last 3 years.
Yeah, he's wonderful. You mentioned this a little bit previously, but could you elaborate on how your marketing strategies have changed since COVID-19? And then also, what pieces of those different strategies will you continue moving forward?
Sure. Well, I think the main thing was the focus changed dramatically once the pandemic hit. We went from trying to recruit and increase membership to how do we retain members, and how do we make sure that they know once we've reopened that this is a safe environment and a comfortable environment, and that we're taking this pandemic serious, and that they can feel safe when they step foot in the facility. And we had to, everything essentially got turned upside down. We changed a lot, had to change and alter a lot of our policies, and, temporarily to make do and to make things work, because, obviously members were unsure of what they were coming back to and what kind of environment they were coming back to. So, we spent a lot of time, about a month before we reopened, in a lot of Zoom meetings, just going over new signage, a lot of communications with our members, a lot of blast emails going out, social media posts, just reassuring and letting them know that we were going to take every step necessary to make sure that they felt safe when they stepped foot and that they could be reassured to come back. And so that was essentially the redirection that we had to take is not just, you go in for 2 years and you're thinking, okay, I just need to figure out ways to get more people through the door and to make people feel like this is a premier place to, work out and use this facility. To I just want people to, to feel safe and comfortable and when they work out here. And so that was an experience and eye-opening. And now I think we're getting back to a little more. Obviously, we still always want to, get as many people through the door as possible and realize that what's available here and to utilize this as a fitness center in the area. But we still have a lot of those, like you mentioned earlier. A lot of those restrictions are still in place, and things are still not 100% back to normal. So it's just bridging that gap to make sure we're finding that balance to make sure that the people that are here feel safe, but that we're also still catering to those that are maybe unsure but looking for a place to work out.
That sounds great. And you also mentioned talking about like your busy time and having a lot of like linear due dates and things like that, and being at a commuter campus. I'm sure y'all wear lots of different hats. Could you talk to us about how you support your colleagues through marketing, and then also in return how they support you, and maybe talk about like your processes for how folks maybe request marketing or what that kind of looks like, so that way like we can understand how you function a little bit and how you're all able to support each other?
Sure. Well, I think the main thing is obviously communication, and I tried to stress that from day one. I realize I personally try to cater to others, I guess, more maybe sometimes than I should. But I know some people, have more old school tactics, and some people need more organization. They would prefer, everything to be, I just fill out a form and submit it to you, and it's all laid out there, because that makes their life a little easier. So I kind of balance both. Some people just want to send everything to me in a nice email and say, can I submit this request? And I do that, as well as I do have an online form that they can submit and lay everything out nice and neat, to make them feel better. And either way works for me. The main thing I stress with them is to just constantly communicate. Don't wait till the last minute. Give us some lead time. We want to produce the best product for you. And make sure it's the best product for our membership and for whoever this is promoting to. So we want to make sure we have plenty of lead time. And for the most part, we work together really closely. We do a lot of meetings, have a lot of, it's like just yesterday we had a special events meeting where, all of our pro staff got together and we just discussed all the different special events that we have on the horizon, even ones that we may not move forward with, that dates and stuff, so that everybody's on the same page, so we're not overloading or stressing out certain aspects of the facility because of double bookings or double events and different things like that. And it's been great. You try to meet at least monthly with that, and it just we produce documents so that we have in our offices so that we can kind of look ahead and say, oh, we have this coming up and this is going on, so maybe I don't want to pick this date for my proposed event. And then we just constantly communicate and make sure that's up to date. That's been great. From a center standpoint, it's been great for me. They have it's called POI groups that focus in different areas, marketing, facilities, etc. And the POI stands for Programs of Innovation. And so what happens is we usually meet monthly. We've been meeting on Zoom, obviously, and it's just a great resource because then I can meet with marketing and membership professionals from all the different center sites, and we can go over ideas together, share resources, share events that we may have or plans that we may have or strategies that have worked for them. And it's just been a great way for us to kind of stay on top of things, stay up to date, what are best practices, and see what other sites are doing and get that, experience and see what we can bring to our site that might work there as well. So it's been a great resource, and it just really goes along with the teamwork mentality that I think working at centers has. So.
No, and that sounds like a really great opportunity to like build that network of campus recreation individuals that you will hopefully get to meet in person sometime.
Yeah,
But
we're actually we're actually looking at a potential hosting some type of like a marketing summit where we have some ideas where we could get all the centers professionals together and be in person and actually have like a workshop that's maybe 1 or 2 days long and actually really it'd just be nice because I've seen so many of these people on the screen and it'd be nice to see them in person and actually go over ideas in person and really enjoy that experience and see them and meet them, shake their hand. So
yeah, no, oh, I'm so sorry. That would be, and that's the best part about like, hopefully you get to go to a NIRSA conference sometime soon because NIRSA annual or even regionals, because you're in Region 3 and Region 3 takes their conferences very seriously. And like, they're just so much fun.
yeah,
And
and I've actually been a part of the NIRSA, which is the Illinois Intramural Recreation Sports Association. I did my first year here at Moraine. I did attend one of those, and it was just a great experience to meet people in similar situations and similar positions across the state. So yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting my chance to hopefully get to NIRSA and do some networking there as well.
Yeah, I like to describe it as like a family reunion because it's so wonderful.
I know Alejandro speaks very highly of it and looks forward to it every year. So I'm looking to get involved as much as possible.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us about your program and what you're doing. It sounds like you've got some wonderful stuff going on. For anybody who's watching this, if you're interested in contacting Rob for more information, I will put the school link in the description below so that way you can find his contact information and reach out directly. Make sure to like and subscribe and make sure to follow Rec Chat on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So thanks so much, everybody, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you.